You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, babes, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter. Hope you're having a good one. I've got a review for this new indie film, To Kill a Wolf, which is written and directed by Kelsey Taylor, who you most likely know from doing the short film Alien Specimen, which you can check out on YouTube. If you have not checked it out, especially if you checked out Romulus, I highly recommend you check it out because holy shit, it's fucking awesome. I still think she needs a chance to deliver that film on a larger scale with a longer runtime. Pardon me. But this film in question, we follow Maddison Brown, who plays Dani. You know Maddison Brown most likely from playing Lily in Strangerland, that film with Nicole Kidman. You also most likely know her from Dynasty, the Dynasty reboot, which got I remember that show always being on. It got 5 seasons. I remember when that premiered, because I think that was on CW, if memory serves. But she played Kirby Anders on there. So I had seen Strangerland. I've seen a little bit of Dynasty. I always thought she was fucking gorgeous on there and really fucking weird, but in a fun way. She also apparently did this miniseries called the Kettering Incident, which I'm gonna have to check out here at some point because it's on the Roku channel. But as far as this film, I really like the slow burn of it. There's been a lot of stuff I've liked so far this year. It's been slow burn, something like Femme, something like Day in the Line, something something like The Last Stop in Yuma County, something like Trust. So many of these films do have that slow burn aspect to them, but they do a really great job of ramping up. What I think my biggest complaint just right out the gate about this movie is I just wanted a little more character-wise in terms of the woodsman. The woodsman is played by Ivan Martin, who you know from Suits, Ozark, Billions, just to name a few. He was also Mick in High Heat, which that's right, he was Stanley in Boston Strangler that came out last year. And he's also Terry on What We Do in the Shadows. That's what I recognize him from. But one thing about this movie, one thing about his portrayal is that he does such a great job of portraying angst just in his facial expressions. I'm always a big fan of when people can emote well without saying a thing. And that's something that Martin and Brown both nail here. The IMDb plot synopsis is 1,000% right in the way that this is a modern retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. It's very much that, and I think if you know that going into it, you'll kind of go oh, okay. I personally didn't know that going in, but even I, about 20 minutes in, was oh, okay, I think I see where we're kind of, okay, got it. Furthermore, you find out that the woodsman, because they never tell you his name. I'm actually thinking back, no, I don't think they ever actually say his name. But when you find out why he kind of has become a social pariah and why he keeps to himself, it's one of those things where you go, oh, fuck, okay. It's a dark origin for him and what occurred. No spoilers, obviously. But that was one of those things I went, oh, yeah, that would do it. As someone who grew up in a small town, yeah, that would be one of those things that would get you shut off from a lot of people. But he seems like a good person. He has this whole thing where he has this arrangement with this guy who owns the house that he stays in. But this guy goes ahead and wants to set these wolf traps, and just, capture things. And he goes ahead and he's always setting the traps off. Just these little things. You feel like he's a good person, but he fucked up royally. Even when he goes to the town, this girl who's trying to go ahead and check him out, uh, he goes, "Oh yeah, it should be this price," and it's a sale item, and so she, as someone who's worked customer service, she should just go like, "Oh hey, actually, it's if you do this and this." But the tone in which she goes, "Actually, you need to do this to get this price," and he kind of just looks at her like, "All right, shit, sorry." You can tell that he has a reputation around the town, and one thing that I really like about how Kelsey Taylor writes this is that you get the like y'all, if you've listened to the podcast for a decent amount of time, one of my pet peeves is being spoon fed. I really appreciate when a writer trusts its audience to go ahead and kind of put the pieces together to an extent themselves. And I really like the breadcrumb nature in which they go ahead and develop the woodsman. The stand-up for me is Maddison Brown. She's awesome in this. When you find out, we find Dani, the woodsman discovers her. He discovers her in the middle of the woods, a la fairy tale. And when you find out what's going on with Dani and her origin, it's fucking heartbreaking. It is just, it's one of those things where I just went, God damn, like, this is the second, yeah, I'd say the second movie this year, in recent viewings of stuff, where I've just been like, man, I totally get why lesbians are a thing, because men, some of the men in some of these films I've been watching recently are such fucking monsters. It's like, God damn it, like be better, you assholes. And again, no spoilers, but once you figure out what happens with Dani, you're like, oh no. And there are multiple points where Brown feels like she's gonna say it. She feels like she's kind of having that moment of acceptance and trying to move past these things that have occurred. But the way she just, like, her lip quivers and she's like looks down the ground and you just feel the weight of what she's dealing with just crushing her. It's fucking sad, but I love the chemistry that Brown and Martin have, because they clearly see each other without knowing what's going on with the other person, and it's fascinating, the back and forth between the two of them. There's a use of a song in this movie that I think is so profound. I thought was just haunting when it needed to be, inspirational when it needed to be, heartbreaking when it needed to be, and kind of similar to Frank Castle's One Batch, Two Batch reference in Daredevil, and how they go ahead and use that as a plot device. I really love the way that song is used, and the last time it's used, and the reason behind it. I just went, oh yeah. I was like, that's okay. That's amazing. Also, just because I'm a monster, I appreciate how much of just a snarky dick the woodsman is to everyone, because, and again, you find out why he's been ostracized, but you can tell, like, that amount of isolation. I mean, we all lived through lockdown. That amount of isolation, you just start to become kind of a prick. It kind of just drives you nuts after a while, and you can definitely tell that it's worn on him, and that this situation has worn on him. Hearing Madison's Dani talk about how she was brought up, about how, she used to live with her grandma, and how her grandma, didn't like music. Didn't like music. I don't think she liked me. It's like, God damn, like, it's just, this is a heavy movie. Like, it's definitely not sunshine and rainbows, but I do think there's a lot here for audiences to take away. I do just, again, wish, I think this is a movie, in a rare case, that I would actually say this needed to be longer. I would have probably gone in like hour 45, hour 50. I don't think this needed to be 2 hours, but I would have liked a little more fleshing out on the woodsman, a little more setup before we kind of dived in here. But also at the same time, I like stuff like this. I like something that can be 90 minutes. I can still get, some really great enjoyment out of it, and I got enjoyment out of this. As far as my final grade, I'd go B- on this. I thought this was a solid flick. I don't know when this is gonna hit theaters. I don't know when it'll be available on VOD. By the time I post this, it should be, hopefully. But I would check this out. I think this is well worth your time. It's a good flick, and I think that Kelsey Taylor, given this and the Alien short film, I think she has a hell of a floor already, and I think she is going to continue to develop as a filmmaker. But I enjoyed this, so yeah, B- for me. But To Kill a Wolf, yeah, did y'all? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. You can go ahead and follow the show on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you know when new reviews are coming out. You can find the show on YouTube at The Real Pineapple. That's REEL Pineapple. You can follow me on Blue Sky at realpineapple.bsky.social. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and the Twitter at jhunterrealpineapple. That's jhunter and then REEL and then pineapple. And you can follow me on Letterboxd at Black Shazam. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/therealpineapple. And go ahead and hit that like, share, subscribe button. Go ahead and rate the show 5 stars. It definitely helps me out. You can find this podcast pretty much wherever you listen to them. SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneUp, and Samsung Podcasts at The Real Pineapple. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We'll have more reviews coming out soon. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. We all use more positivity. And never forget, as always, to keep it real.